Did you know that the average college student spends over $1,200 a year on textbooks? According to an article titled "High Textbook Prices Have College Students Struggling" by Ali Bidwell in U.S. News. The price of textbooks has increased by 82% over the last decade. Student debt at an all-time high, textbook costs should not really be a burden on college students, but it is. It's a big issue, and something needs to be done about it. First, I'm going to discuss the reasons why college textbook prices are so high today. Second, I'm going to discuss the negative impacts they have on students and their families. And third, I'm going to offer a solution that can allow students to access textbooks for very little or for free. So as I mentioned, the costs of college textbooks are incredibly high, the highest they've been ever. The price has been up 82% from 2002 to 2013, which is 3 times the rate of inflation here in the United States. The question is why? Why are they so expensive? And that answer is the principle of economics for textbooks. The textbook market is not very competitive. This is very different from anything else. For example, let's say you see a pair of Nike basketball shoes for $125 at a local mall store, but you can go home and check different websites to see if there are any lower prices, and then for sure there probably are, and you can get the same pair of basketball shoes for $80, and you're going to take that any day. And that's what makes the market competitive. But in terms of textbooks, there are only 5 publishers, and those publishers control 80% of the market, which locks out other competitors. Students really have no choice but to buy these expensive textbooks from publishers. Publishers really don't help students because they're always making new editions, and they're also making custom editions for specific universities. This is going to cause cost for textbooks to always remain a problem. Secondly, the negative effects are important to know that are placed on college students and their families. As I mentioned previously, the average student spends about $1,200 on textbooks per year. For private universities like Fairfield, this may not be a significant cost, but for other students across the country, it is. The cost of textbooks accumulates to 39% the cost of tuition if you attend a 2-year university or a community college, and it's also 14% of the cost of tuition if you attend a state college or university. This is causing students to not even buy textbooks for their own class. In an article in the USA Today newspaper titled "Cost of College Textbooks Are Out of Control" by Herb Weisbaum, a survey of 2,000 college students across 150 campuses was completed, and 65% chose not to buy a textbook because it was too expensive. 48% said the cost of the book had an impact on how many classes they took, and 94% who didn't buy a textbook believed it would hurt their grade in the course. So the high cost of textbooks are causing students to choose different classes, risk their grades, and change their own major, which is an extremely big problem. College bookstores, obviously, college students know this, have the highest charge for textbooks. But there are websites like Chegg and Amazon who sell textbooks for much lower, and we know to buy from there. It's common for the professor to want the latest edition of each textbook that they're teaching. And for me, that happens freshman year when I had to buy the newest 5th edition for a Spanish textbook, which costs over $200 for an intro class. That's ridiculous, and it's happening all across the country. And we need to find a solution. And that solution is using open source textbooks. With today's technology and our ability to send and process information so quickly, we need to move toward openly licensed textbooks for everyone to use. They can be found free online, and they cost very little to have them printed, and also downloaded. They cost very little as well. The University of Minnesota has already opened their own library with open source textbooks, and it has over 150 titles for students to choose from. In a New York Times article titled Putting a Dent in College Costs with Open Source Textbooks by Anne Carnes, college students could save an average of $128 a course if textbooks were replaced with free or low-cost open-source electronic versions. So this is a great way for college students to not spend so much money on college textbooks when there's no need to spend that much money on them. The price of college is already so high, they don't need to worry about it. To conclude, textbooks are at the cost of textbooks are an all-time high, and they're kept high by greedy publishers and inefficient markets. So let's help college students across the country be able to help afford them go to college with access to quality textbooks for much cheaper than what they are today. So speak to your professor about using open source or online books. Check your library if they have any open source books to choose from, and because there needs to be a price change for textbooks, and it's been long overdue. We need to do something about it. Thank you very much.